Hallo zusammen, I'm your Vlog Dave. You might have watched one of the latest videos that my pal Meisterlenzer aka Get Germanized aka Vuko has made, and it was about the recent flooding catastrophe, the recent flooding incidents in Germany. And well, he basically asked you and his viewers in general if we had like a similar story that we could tell. And well, I also went through a flooding incident back in 2002, long time ago, but I can still remember. So I thought, well, I could do a little video about that too. So here it is, my very own flooding incident story told by Vlog Dave. Yeah. The flooding is das Hochwasser, the high water, so to speak. Makes sense. So like I said before, this stuff I'm going to talk about all happened in 2002, which is 14 years ago, long time obviously, and back then I was 11 years old. I was basically visiting a few acquaintances of mine, of our family, in Saxony, Sachsen, which is the most eastern state in Germany. Sachsen is one of 16 states, and it was a little village near Dresden, and it was the summer of 2002. Well, for the first few days everything was pretty much normal, like we had very good weather, really sunny days and all of that stuff. We really enjoyed ourselves, obviously, had much fun, but after a few days, like, the sun was really gone at all, like there wasn't any sun at all. Pretty much. It was a very kind of gloomy and moody and dark days with a lot of rain. Really heavy rain, basically. So, yeah, and we were pretty much surrounded by it. Like, there wasn't a single break. As far as I can remember, there wasn't like a single hour without rain for a whole day. And that obviously already tells that it was a lot of rain coming down. We were pretty lucky though, because we lived on a little hill a bit outside of the village and not in the valley, so to speak. At first I think we thought like, oh well, it's rain. I mean, it's a lot of rain, but well, you know, it's just bad weather. Nothing too special about it. When we actually discovered that the rain continued to pour down from the sky for a few days straight without any pause or break, and it got more and more because we were pretty much isolated up there. I mean, you have to buy food, like beverage stuff, stuff to drink, for instance, you know, all of that typical stuff, and we couldn't really do it. Because, like, I mean, it's obvious that when they basically constructed the sewers, they didn't really think of the possible incident of flooding, of really hefty and strong floodings in that region and overall. Because, like, we had quite some flooding incidents in Germany over the past few decades and years and whatnot. But it's still not like a very typical thing that will happen each and every year. That isn't really the case in Germany pretty much. I mean, luckily. So yeah, no one was really prepared for that, and we couldn't see it coming. So that made it a lot harder to actually prepare for it, obviously. With like little bags filled with sand to actually, yeah, build a barrier against the flooding, against the water. Yeah, and obviously you couldn't really like drive through the water with your car. It was a really like, yeah, fragile situation overall. Like nobody really knew what to do. Well, it wasn't only our town, it was many towns in Saxony that got affected by that. I think even in Austria as well, and in the Czech Republic. I guess you can't really imagine what it's like to be like getting hit by that much water, that amount of water, the flooding. And it's also muddy water, which is another really bad thing. In addition to the fact that it's much water killing your furniture, like demolishing everything in your flat or in your house or wherever. In your basement, many basements were completely flooded. I guess like some families with especially little houses even had to go to the top of the roof to be rescued from there with helicopters, because they couldn't do anything anymore. Like the whole furniture was demolished, like there wasn't anything left to do in that house to protect it with anything, barriers and stuff. You couldn't do anything about it really. Like after it cooled down a bit and most of the water was gone away, we actually had the chance to see what actually happened down in the village. And actually the pictures you are seeing here, the photos I took back then, the water you're seeing there wasn't the highest level of water, the highest level of flooding that went through a town, obviously. So it was less than that, but still, you can see it's really something that you wouldn't want to wish anyone, like you wouldn't want to wish this to your enemies, I guess. However, I couldn't go back and travel back to my family the way I wanted it to be, the way it was intended to be, because I think the plan was that I was about to stay there for 2 weeks in total, and after the 2 weeks ended, there was the flooding. Like I couldn't go anywhere because the train station was blocked. You couldn't really drive with your car. You couldn't really do anything. Like, yeah. So I had to stay there for another like 1.5 weeks, I think it was, which wasn't a bad thing or like a problem at all because it was summer holidays in school. So yeah, but still, I mean, it's a really strange and insecure feeling. I don't know if you can describe it like that, because it's really hard to actually explain what I mean and what that feeling was like back then. Like a feeling of isolation and a feeling of helplessness. It's really hard to actually explain that properly. However, that was pretty much my story. Hope you enjoyed it, and let me know by hitting the like button, leaving a like, sharing this video with other people. Thanks for watching. You can check out many other interesting websites and well, social media stuff in the video description down below. You will find many different links there. And ja, thanks for your attention. I'm your Vlog Dave. Tschüss und bis zum nächsten Mal.